AMD is dominating everything. Today we analyze AMD. However, by actually looking at a higher time frame, we are perfectly able to determine exactly where AMD will head next in the near future. Therefore, looking here at the monthly chart of AMD before we start with our technical analysis, we first always have to determine the underlying trend. On AMD, this is not too difficult. You can see that back in 2015, so exactly a decade ago, we saw a major reversal. Back then, AMD has been retesting a very strong horizontal support exactly at this psychological $2 level. Furthermore, for quite a long period of time, you can see that AMD was also respecting this upper resistance trend line, meaning that AMD was simply trading in a long-term descending triangle formation. Then back in 2015/2016, we actually saw the triangle breakout on AMD, and ever since, AMD has been rallying an incredible 9,500%. You can see that over the course of the past decades, we simply have been witnessing higher highs and higher lows on AMD, meaning that the trend is clearly towards the upside. Specifically, if we look at market structure over the past couple of months, we can see something interesting. Starting back approximately 5 years ago, in 2020, AMD started to establish a substantial lower green support trendline. But we did not only see this support trendline being respected, but on the other side, also this parallel upper resistance trendline marked here in red, meaning that for the past 5 years, AMD has been simply trading in a so-called rising channel formation, perfectly respecting both trend lines. I mean, here is where things get interesting. Just a couple of months ago, I'm talking about mid-2025, AMD once again retested this lower green support trend line. Furthermore, AMD also retested a quite substantial horizontal support approximately at this $100 level. You can see that also on the higher time frame we saw a beautiful rejection wick towards the downside, and AMD then simply respected this overall quite strong confluence of support. That was also exactly the reason for why back then I decided to publish a bunch of analysis explaining all the reasons for which from here I do expect this channel continuation. And over the course of the past couple of months alone, AMD has been rallying approximately 150%. By the way, I will link all of this previous analysis either below or next to this breakdown. As we're speaking, AMD is finally attempting to create new all-time highs. We have the previous all-time high approximately at this $200 level, which obviously, considering that AMD is approaching it from below, is still acting as a horizontal resistance. Today alone, AMD is up 25%, starting the week with a nice move. But all of this has not been unexpected due to the simple retest of confluence of support plus bullish confirmation. The overall channel continuation has been expected. Therefore, I also simply do expect an all-time high breakout soon. Keep in mind that after a move of plus 25%, it's quite normal for bulls to actually take partial profit, so we might see a short-term retracement. But overall, I simply do expect this channel continuation and eventually another retest of this upper red resistance trendline. My first target is sitting approximately at this $300 level, which I would then mark as another horizontal resistance, just a simple psychological level perfectly lining up with this upper red resistance trendline. And this simply constitutes my overall bull run price target if AMD actually manages to create an all-time high breakout soon. If you enjoyed today's analysis of AMD and you found it helpful, I really appreciate if you smash the like button below this video. Obviously, the moment AMD actually manages to break above the previous all-time high, I will immediately update this analysis, so make sure you check back every once in a while. I will also see you tomorrow with a fresh breakdown. And now in the end, just make sure that you don't get caught up in any of this crazy short-term volatility and you simply manage to keep your long-term vision.